Welcome to the Charlie Stubbs Show, featuring the head coach of the Nicholls State University football team, Charlie Stubbs. Today's program is presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, dedicated to patient-centered excellence. The Charlie Stubbs Show is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. Good afternoon and welcome to the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. We'll be joined shortly by the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. Right now, the equipment staff is slapping decals on the helmets and making last-minute preparations as our own Jansen Verdon sets the stage for the 2014 season, which kicks off this Saturday.
The Colonels faced a tough schedule last year, playing top contenders such as 10th-ranked Oregon and UL Lafayette, who went on to win the New Orleans Bowl. Nicholls got off to a strong 4-2 start, but then faced their most difficult obstacle, injuries. After losing players like Marcus Washington and Davin Bovey, who were not only talented but also team leaders, the Colonels struggled to retain their early momentum, and although they fought hard, the band of brothers were unable to finish the season the way they had hoped. Now, after a fierce offseason of conditioning, the Colonels are anxious to get out on the field and show their worth.
Definitely, I can already tell, not just with myself, but with looking at my teammates around me, that those summer workouts and the people that was here and really grinded, we can really tell how we've all taken another step in becoming better.
The weight room isn't the only place the Colonels have seen change. Just as the players have been making moves this offseason, so too have the coaches.
I adjusted the staff. I put another additional coach on the defensive side of the ball. And so I really believe that's helping. The next thing, too, is I talked to them about what I wanted on defense, too, which is I would like them to get where they're so sound, where they're lined up exactly right, they know their alignment and assignment, but they can contain an offense.
Steve Adams is in his second year with the Colonels as safeties coach, but this season will be his first as defensive coordinator. His presence has already had a noticeable impact on the team.
So we feel this year we're going to attack it with a different mindset. Coach Adams has helped, simplified a few things, just to free our mind, free our feet, help us play fast, and help us be great this year.
The offense is also in a building phase with a stiff competition at a number of positions during the fall. Senior Kalen Henderson won the quarterback battle and will lead a unit that averaged close to 34 points per game last year. And although many would consider that a success, head coach Charlie Stubbs says that just isn't good enough.
We got a long ways to go, so our job's to light up the scoreboard, and I really believe the guys have been in the system long enough that one of the mottos I go by is perfection is our goal, but excellence will be tolerated. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get perfect at what we do. We won't ever achieve that, but dang, excellence is pretty darn good.
The Colonels face another daunting schedule this year, one that features 3 FBS rivals, including, for the first time in the history of the program, an SEC team. They open up with Air Force of the Mountain West Conference. The very next week, it's off to Fayetteville for a matchup with the Arkansas Razorbacks. The Colonels also have a pair of FCS playoff participants on the docket, along with Division II powerhouse Henderson State.
The players that sign here or come here to play football at Nicholls, they all want to be challenged. And the Southland Conference is very challenging, but there's nothing like getting on a plane and flying to Arkansas and Colorado Springs and play such teams. And, I really believe, if you want to really make some noise, at this level of football, knock one of those teams off. But if you just play somebody here and maybe there's a small crowd and all that, you may win, but, I like taking my chances. I like to go out there and let's see if we can do something special before we hit Southland Conference play.
With 10 starters and a number of seasoned reserves returning, the Colonels are stacked with experience on both sides of the ball. The senior class includes linebacker Davin Bovey, who was leading the conference in tackles last year before a knee injury forced him out of the final 5 games. Guard Rafe Plaisance is back to anchor the offensive line, while preseason all-conference selection Byron Cobb roams the secondary, and wide receiver Damon Bolt, who was also injured for a portion of last year, assumes a starring role. The team knows it will take more than just sheer talent, though, to get them through the Southland Conference.
We all have our days we lean on another teammate, another leader to pick us up. It's all a puzzle, and we all a piece to it. We all lean on each other. You know, not one of us is going to be All-American by themselves without the help of another teammate, you know. So I wouldn't say there's one of us who's going to stand out the most. I feel we all going to have our time to shine, and we're going to lead each other at that time also.
Once we all start playing for not just ourselves but each other, and I feel like we're starting to, we're just going to keep getting better and better, and I think that's going to carry us to where we want to be in the season.
For the Charlie Stubbs Show, I'm Jansen Verdun.
Thanks, Jansen. When we come back, we'll be joined by the man himself, head coach Charlie Stubbs, as we talk about the season opener at Air Force. This is the Charlie Stubbs Show presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional.
In sports, you strive for first or best. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional is both. The region's first comprehensive sports medicine program with a team of the best sports medicine trained experts. You're serious about the game, we're serious about your safety. With advanced concussion testing technology and certified athletic trainers, we're keeping athletes safely in the game. Play hard, play to win. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional will help you play it safe.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef, let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for.
At People's Health, we know that when it comes to health, what works is teamwork. Each People's Health Plan member has a team of talented professionals working together to coordinate care so our members can do what they love to do.
That's what we do. We're here for you with People's Health.
People's Health, your Medicare health team.
We welcome you back to the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Mike Wagenheim alongside the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. Time's a ticking. We're getting ready to head to Colorado Springs. This team has to be pumped right now.
Yeah, they're very excited. I mean, we've had a very good fall camp. It's been extremely hot here in South Louisiana as usual. But again, by the time we practice Friday, that'll be 28 practices, and we're ready to play someone.
Air Force coming off a tough year, but Troy Calhoun has had a lot of success there over the years, and I'm sure he's going to have this team ready to be a contender again in the Mountain West.
There's no question. They got a very good program going, and you know they, you know, they're just like us, renewed enthusiasm, you know, optimistic, and it's going to be their home opener, and there'll be a lot of excitement. I think it's Parents Weekend there, which is a big deal. I know because my son attended the Air Force Academy and played some football there, so I know kind of what that experience is about. So it'll be an electric atmosphere for our players also.
Air Force coming off a 2-10 season, 0-8 in the Mountain West. 8 opponents scored 40 or more points against them. 5 averaged more than 7 yards per play. Worst defense statistically in school history, but they got 16 starters back, including 9 on defense, and they've made some changes and really brought in some veteran coaches on the defensive side of the football to try to rectify those problems. And you did the same thing on your end, making some changes defensively. So these teams kind of mirroring each other in some senses.
Yeah, you're right. The biggest thing we all know is to win championships, you still have to play great defense. And that's what we're searching for here, and that's what they're searching for. And again, it's going to be interesting the first quarter of the football game, because then I'll be able to verify really the changes that they are making scheme-wise. So you know, you got to prepare for the unexpected a little bit, but then again, we're excited, and we'll have a few things that are a little bit different than people have seen here in the past, and we just want to get around and fly around, make plays, and be in a position to win the football game in the fourth quarter.
Now, Air Force used 4 quarterbacks last year. You had to run through 3 of them. So again, some things in common with the Falcons as well on the offensive side of the ball. You've got your quarterback situation straightened out. Kalen Henderson will be your guy. What kind of stood out about him in camp that made you decide for him to be the starter?
Well, first of all, I really like all the quarterbacks, but I wanted to make sure, you know, I had enough snaps for people, and I didn't want to get into rotating too much. Well, Kalen is an exceptional athlete. I mean, unfortunately, he only played last year really a part of a first game and part of the second game, and then broke his leg. But I really believe he's got so much ability in the passing game. He can hit all spots of the field. Got a tremendous strong arm. He's also elusive as a runner, and he also has great leadership skills. So, and then of course the other guys, Bo Hebert has starting experience, so hopefully he'll be able to come in and help us in situations. And then I have Toscani Figueroa, which I'm bound and determined to try to redshirt him. I tried last year, and unfortunately injuries happened. And as I met with all these quarterbacks and presented it all to them, I said, you know, I said, that's our plan right now. But I said, as Mike Tyson said, you know, everybody has a plan till they're hit in the mouth. So right now, that's our plan going in, and we have to adjust if we get hit in the mouth.
Absolutely. So in that Air Force offense, they run the option. And it's given defenses some fits over the years, but not recently. They had a very small offensive line the last few years, couldn't really get their running game going. They've bulked up now on the offensive line, but you've done so on the defensive line, so that should be a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we hold up against the option, because it really takes discipline on defense. You can't make mistakes, and got to be very sound and not get fooled. And so, you know, it's going to be interesting. We try to simulate it in our practice, but I'm sure we can't come close to the way that they do it. But it's going to be an interesting game, you know, of kind of, you know, matchups and all the newness and the new players that we have out there that our fans hadn't even seen. And so I'm really excited about it.
As far as Air Force goes, 8 of their top 10 receivers are coming back, but the secondary was really the strength of your defense last year. Are you confident again this season? Yeah, they're doing well. We go against them all the time, and they're making plays back there. And the thing I like the most is when our offense does make a mistake, they're picking the ball off. Last year and the years past, a lot of times we had opportunities for turnovers or takeaways, and we didn't make them happen. We had maybe bat the ball down, but now we're actually picking the ball off and making the offense pay, which I really like. Can't wait to get going here. We got you covered this Saturday. Nichols opens the 2014 season at Air Force. We start the day on the Colonel Sports Radio Network, presented by your local Super Chevy dealers, with the Colonel pregame pass on KNSU 91.5 FM. That begins at 10:30 in the morning. Then at 11:30, it's Colonel Weekly on Fox Sports Radio, KJIN AM 1490 in Houma. They'll also carry the game live. At 12:30, it's a Colonel countdown throughout our network of stations, including our flagship ESPN 100.3 The Game, which can be heard in New Orleans, the Tri-Parishes, and the River Region. Kickoff is slated for 1 o'clock Central. In addition to the radio, you can watch it live on ESPN3. Always great to get in front of the cameras. I know you guys are excited. Yeah, we're very excited. I mean, every time you can get on TV, especially national TV, and it's great for not just a football program, but our university, but also our players. They're super excited to get out there and see how they match up against FBS opponents. Well, when we come back on the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, we'll take a look at what the prognosticators think is in store for the Colonels, along with the 2014 schedule. And this is the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. We welcome you back to the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Mike Wagenheim with the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. Coach, you spoke about it in the season preview. We watched a little bit earlier. The schedule is daunting, but it's a challenge that you guys are ready to face once again this year.
Yeah, we have a very challenging schedule. The Southland Conference is challenging enough, but we step out of there. We have 3 FBS opponents this year, of course, opening up with the Air Force Academy. And then we follow that up with against Arkansas, and that'll be the first time in the history of Nichols football that they've ever played a Southeastern Conference team. So we're excited about that. And then in a couple weeks, the next week, we even play Henderson State, which is a Division II team, but they're a Division II power, so they're no slouch. And then follow that up with North Texas State in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they were a very good team last year, a bowl team. And so we've got our challenges ahead, but we really feel like we're ready to meet them. Last year we were very fortunate. We did defeat an FBS opponent, Western Michigan, which we were one of the only 2 teams in the Southland Conference to win against an FBS team, us and McNeese State. So that was a big deal, and we sure want to knock somebody off this year before we hit conference play.
Let's take a look at the full slate here. The season starts this Saturday at Air Force on ESPN3, continues next Saturday at Arkansas. Again, first ever SEC opponent for Nichols. That will air on the SEC Network. Home opener against Henderson State on the 13th. We're at North Texas on the 20th. You can watch that on the new American Sports Network. It's on to Central Arkansas on the Southern TV Network. Then at McNeese State, 5 of the first 6 games for the Colonels on the road. After that, you've got Stephen F. Austin and Lamar at home back-to-back. You'll travel to Houston Baptist, that one on ESPN3. You'll host Incarnate Word, visit Northwestern State, and wrap up the regular season here in Thibodaux with the River Bell Classic against Southeastern Louisiana. That will air on WHNO TV 20. So, 5 of the first 6 on the road. It gets a little bit easier after that, but again, Southland competition, it's never quite as easy as you would like it to be.
No, I tell you what, though, the experience we'll gain in those first 6 games, playing in really loud environments, hostile environments, I really believe it'll prepare us for what we're facing in the Southland Conference. But, to play these kind of opponents, the FBS, the way the scheduling works, you have to play them up front, in the season. There's no way can we open up with other opponents as our opener. It just doesn't work that way in scheduling.
We look at it last year. You opened the season at Oregon, and while the final score didn't reflect it, the Colonels were competitive in that game, really held your own. The confidence you were able to take away from that carried over into Kalamazoo the following week. You're able to knock off FBS Western Michigan. So, again, even though you may not come out on the right end of the score, there are things to be gained from playing top caliber competition.
Yeah, there's no question. That's the philosophy. That's what we're trying to do. And I tell them, if you really want to make some noise, in the national spotlight, knock one of these teams off. And so that's the challenge, and I think it's helped us in recruiting. When all the players that come in at schools like Nichols all feel like that they should be playing at the bigger schools or the FBS schools. So now at least I can offer them the opportunity for us to go out and compete against them and see where they really stack up.
Well, the Southland Conference preseason polls are out. We start with the coaches poll. No real surprises. Southeastern Louisiana, McNeese State, and San Houston State, all of them made the FCS playoffs. They're ranked 1, 2, and 3. Central Arkansas and Northwestern State follow. Then it's Stephen F. Austin, Lamar, and new member Abilene Christian. The Colonels apparently are going to have to earn some respect. Picked to finish 9th, followed by the other new entries, Incarnate Word and Houston Baptist. The Sports Information Director's poll doesn't look much different. Just a few votes here and there changed places. The league doesn't think a whole lot about the Colonels right now. You guys are out to change that perception.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that, and it's really meaningless in a way because, again, that's the beauty of this sport is you get to play the game. So if we want to get that perception changed of us, we got to do something about it on the field.
Looking forward to it. Just a couple days away here. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll finish things up here with the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. This is the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional.
In sports, you strive for first or best. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional is both. The region's first comprehensive sports medicine program with a team of the best sports medicine trained experts. You're serious about the game, we're serious about your safety. With advanced concussion testing technology and certified athletic trainers, we're keeping athletes safely in the game. Play hard, play to win. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional will help you play it safe.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for.
At People's Health, we know that when it comes to health, what works is teamwork. Each People's Health Plan member has a team of talented professionals working together to coordinate care so our members can do what they love to do.
That's what we do. We're here for you with People's Health.
People's Health, your Medicare health team.
Welcome back to the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Kickoff is coming up Saturday, 1 o'clock Central, for the Colonels and the Air Force Falcons. Here alongside the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. What are you doing in these final days here before kickoff, Coach?
Well, this will be in this week. We've already gone through the game plan once, and so we did that last week, and now we expect perfection. That's what I tell them, is that's, you know, we wanted to repeat everything twice. We have so many new players, and the biggest thing I challenge them is, you know, you can do it in practice, but the biggest thing, can you do it with distractions? You know, 40 or 50,000 people in the stands, national TV, you know, of course, defenders and offensive players, you know, executing their assignments by Air Force. So, you know, can you do it in those things? Because sometimes they say, yeah, Coach, I got it down. Do you really have it down? So that's the thing there. And also getting healthy, we've still got some injuries that we had during fall camp. It's very unfortunate. Some young men won't be able to travel with us, but we're going to take what we have and freshen them up some and just get ready to go, because we know what we want it to be is definitely a 4-quarter game.
You know, injuries are always a part of the game. They got the better of the Colonels last year. Do you feel like you're a little bit deeper this season?
We do. We're going to, you know, unfortunately we have about 4 or 5 guys out for this game that we're really counting on, and hopefully we'll get them back at some point before we hit conference play. But, you know, it's just one thing here is just we just have a tendency right now is just hard to stay healthy.
And finish. That has been the motto since last season. The Colonels started hot, again off to a 4-2 start, and things just took their toll. This time it's finishing. And what I've noticed watching this team in the preseason, and I've talked to you about it off camera, the finish motto, it's not just let's finish the year strong. It's let's finish this practice strong, let's finish this drill strong, let's finish this rep strong in the weight room. Everything revolves around that slogan right now.
You're exactly right. And we finished in the classroom too. So that's the thing, and we know that we were on track to really have a you know, kind of a breakthrough type season last year. We had some talent, but again, the biggest thing too is these young guys, some of them may be traveling right now and in their mind thinking, well, I'm going to do a little bit, play a little bit, but they don't know that they could instantly, you know, be a big cog in our attack. Example last year is Toscani. When I started off last year, Bo Hebert was my starting quarterback. Kalen Henderson was the backup. Toscani was going to be redshirted. And in less than 2 short weeks, those first 2 were out. Toscani was our starter, and then he went on to have a tremendous year, you know, as a leading all-time rusher in Nichols history, and threw for over 1,000 yards. And I guarantee you, going into our opener against Oregon, he never thought in a million years all that would happen.
And we look at Toscani this year. You talk about a team player. Kid's coming off the best season rushing-wise, again, in school history. He's going to sit, presumably, this year unless some injuries pile up. Seems like he's handled that news pretty well.
Yeah, we talked about it. I feel like he can be one of the most special quarterbacks ever to come out of Nichols. And I don't think we're selling ourselves short with Kalen and Bo. It's just that right now I got a good situation. If I can spread it out a little bit and be able to redshirt Toscani this year, then Toscani can come back with 2 great years, you know, his junior and senior year, and so that, you know, we'll always have a very good stable of quarterbacks here.
If there's one guy that we haven't really been talking about much yet, that we're going to be talking about by the end of the season, who would that be?
I would say off the top of my head right now, Keenan Canty. He's a transfer receiver from Colorado, and he's come in and, wow, he's impressed me so much at receiver. He can play about all the positions. He's also penciled in right now as our punt returner and our kickoff returner, so he's doing a whole lot. But he's one that people aren't aware of, but I really believe he's going to make a lot of plays for the Colonels this season.
And he is one of a number of Division I transfers on this team. You've done a good job the last few years getting those guys in, and now I think it's ready to pay off here, especially with Kalen and Keenan and guys of that nature.
You're exactly right. We're always looking. You know, we have a lot of young men from South Louisiana that we're developing and bringing them along through the high school ranks, but you also have the ones sometimes you have to fill a void. And so we're able to do that with some really good transfers. And the biggest thing we try to do all fall camp is try to blend it together to build a team. Because you're concerned about those things, is that you got to have unity out there and everybody pulling in the same direction. And right now I feel like that's progressing very well.
Yeah, we look at the guys that we've been talking about during the scrimmages and practice so far. These are players, you're not starting true freshmen here. These are guys that have gotten some experience, unfortunately usually due to injuries, but they've gotten out on the field and made some impact. Michael Henry at running back, Ronnie Walker, Seth Keller at linebackers. Those are guys that have seen action. So this is not going to be anything new to them stepping on the field this year, and that learning curve is a lot less steep.
You're exactly right. You know, we didn't want some things to happen last year injury-wise, but as you said, some of them got some valuable snaps against some very good talent, made some plays, they found out what it's all about, what it really takes in the off-season in the strength and conditioning program. So I really believe we're better suited going into this season than we have in the past.
Coach, can't wait. Just a couple days away. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you.
There are plenty of ways to keep up with Nichols Athletics. You can find our page at Instagram.com/ColonelSports or YouTube.com/Nichols Athletics, Facebook.com/GoColonels, and Twitter.com/GoColonels. We'd also like to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week. This week it is Caitlin Carroll from the women's soccer team. She had both assists in Nichols' upset at Southern Miss, a 2-1 victory on opening day. That is going to do it for this week's program. Again, kickoff at Air Force coming up this Saturday, 1 o'clock Central, live from Colorado Springs. Our pregame coverage begins at 10:30 in the morning. You can find out more information on our website, GoColonels.com. That is GEAUX, GoColonels.com. We will be here each and every Thursday with you on the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. For more information on the show, again, check out our website. He's Charlie Stubbs. I'm Mike Wagenheim. We're going to talk to you again next week. Until then, take care.
The Charlie Stubbs Show has been presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, dedicated to patient-centered excellence. This show has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.